Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden. This is a very, very different video. I'm going to sit down and really dive into the philosophical concept of what happens to a society when a person, then group of people, then everybody, decides that their opinion is good enough for education to sate the comprehension gap. I witnessed it yesterday in action and I went, that's interesting. I was talking to somebody who had absolutely no knowledge in psychology. She knew it. And we're talking. And then she starts hypothesizing what she thinks causes X. I'm going, okay. It was way off and it was very illogical, but I listened to her. And I thought things like, is she trying to teach me? No, she's not trying to teach me. What she's doing is trying to understand for herself, but she's not educating herself. Instead, she is forming an opinion based off of observation, which is what all of Freudian psychology does. So I'm watching her and I'm listening to her conclusions. And every time she gave something, she would summarize it with, but I don't deal with this at all, which tells me I'm not qualified, which she's not. And she's going, and she knew she wasn't. She was like, I'm not qualified. And I'm going, okay. But then she would talk about this developing, and I'm going, interesting. And then she would say again, but I'm not qualified. And I'm going, is this a learning area? Are we learning? And I'm thinking, I'm not teaching her. I'm not, she hasn't asked. So I decided not to teach her. And then she sure as hell isn't teaching me because she's not qualified. So I'm just sitting here like, all right, so what are we doing with this conversation? And the conversation entered this space where she was talking about psychology and her opinions of it while also saying, I'm not qualified. And I've seen this happen a lot with people where we form an opinion because we have a comprehension gap. So I really want to sit down and talk about the comprehension gap. The comprehension gap is a logic gap. It's so the logic cannot fulfill itself. There's a lack of understanding. A lack of understanding is a lack of logic. It's when you have a piece of the logical bridge that allows you to form a proper conclusion. Comprehension gaps in logic are the death sentence of a proof. And it requires more data. This is, in fact, the entire, let's go through this. This is the process. You have the mathematician. Oh, that's why this is going on my scientific website. I'm like, why am I doing this? This should not be. Something in my intuition said this is science. And I'm like, this is philosophy. And here we are. So this is where they cross. So in scientific method, it works like this in math. It's we have a situation. I want to actually write this down because this is really the process that's going on in the mind. This is exactly what we're doing. My God, I love reverse engineering intuition. All right, so we have our little, okay, so there's our timeline. So the very first thing that happens is we notice a situation. We have to notice the situation. A lot of people don't know that. Oh God, this is going to be so great. I'm so excited. Okay, I got to calm down. All right, so we notice a situation. And then after we notice a situation, we realize it's the question, what can I do? What can I do about it? What can I do? And after that, then we get back to our math and we enter into the space of it's data analysis. I'm just data analysis. Well, it's not even data analysis. It's data collecting. It's data collecting. So basically we have, okay, so I want you to imagine a kindergarten room and every child represents a piece of data. The children are running all over the place. So it's absolute mayhem. And you're going, wait. We have a situation. I need to collect the data. So you locate the children who are involved in this situation. You're not going to grab everybody. You're only going to grab the relevant pieces. So you have to sort out the relevant pieces. After you sort out we're going to say components and make it sound science. There we go. So sort out the relative components. After we sort out the relative components, now this is where a lot of people mess this up because they don't have all the components, but they go onto this stage without all the components. This is a big problem. So you sort out the relevant components. I'm going to add here, you have to make sure you have all of the components. And in my opinion, no. In my logical deduction, I am a very, very firm, passionate believer that if you do not do this, then you are not a scientist who is qualified to do pretty much any science. So this is right here, and scientists know this. Scientists know when they are working with less than a full equation. So we're going to put that right here. Are you working with a full equation? And bottom line, scientists know when they're not, because there are symptoms when they're not. So there you go. Are you working with a full equation? The next thing, now, is it in the right order? And that's called sequencing. This is mathematical sequencing. La, 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 la. Now, this is all the stuff that our brain does at hyper super fast. You know what I love about math? You know what I love about math? It's all intuition. It's instinct. Our brains do this all the time without any help from us. It's all on its own. It just does it. I love it. Our brain, this is compartmentalizing. This is what it is. When we compartmentalize, we're doing math. We're doing it badly, but we're doing math. But it's an undisciplined it's like mind math. I'm going to call it mind math. And if you don't know how your mind math works, and it's not really math, because math would be if it's all in shorthand. So really, this is just logic. This is 100% how our brains, these are the order of operations of our brain when it comes to problem solving. So we notice a situation, and then you ask the question, well, what can I do? And then you decide, I'm going to do data collecting. And then you sort out the relevant components. And then you make sure you have all the components available. Are you working with a full equation? And then this is building the equation now. Is it in the right order? Mathematical sequencing. And this is literally, right here's the part. This is actually, the whole thing is building an equation. So this is how to build and calculate an equation. God, I love this part. I love it so much. So is it in the right order? This is mathematical sequencing. After you determine that it is in the right order, and you have all the components, and you've sorted out the relevant pieces, and you have all your data, now you can calculate it. And now it's ready for calculation. You have built your equation. So then the next stage is going to be calculating your equation. To do calculation, can I reverse engineer this? True. You are just following. It's a comparison. You are just comparing the laws of math, logic, and physics to each other. But those are the guidelines in which you follow. So what happens is you make a statement. I'm reverse engineering logic itself right now. You make a statement, and the statement is Words don't matter. That's the statement. The word is not true. The word statement is the false statement. That's the false word for this. It's got a name. What's its name? Is it a conjecture? What is its true name? Conjecture means an opinion or conclusion formed on the basis of incomplete information. Yes. Yes, that's a very good word that I'm going to be introducing into our society because I don't think it's currently present. Is it true? Or is that conjecture? Our society is built on conjecture. That is being, oh, yeah, the most common method for proving conjectures is direct proof. The method will be used to prove the lattice problem above. Direct proof. Now, I am going to figure this out. I don't even know what this is. It's when you make a statement that's absolutely invalid. It's just an invalid, it's an invalid, don't want to use the word hypothesis. That was my first thought, was hypothesis, but it's not even, because when you say this is an hypothesis, you are acknowledging, you have conscious awareness to step back and say, I have no fucking idea what this is. But when you say, I'm sorry, let me reverse that. That's what this is. When people randomly regurgitate shit, they're not even going through this process. On the other side of it, for instance, my work in schizophrenia is purely hypothesis. I don't have the data yet to sit down and go through it. I'm just observing, I'm calculating, I'm interviewing people, and I'm basing it off of what I know about the subconscious mind. So I'm gathering data. So I tell people my work in schizophrenia is 100% hypothesis at this point. And it makes it an hypothesis when there is consciousness of saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, and I am in the process of the research. But when when you're not even conscious, you're just making a random statement. It's not even a statement. You're stating something, but why would you even state it? Yeah, this is my logical brain trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what would compel somebody to say something without any evidence. They just say shit. And there's like a sentence, a thing. Now, conjecture. See, my question is conjecture with or without consciousness? Is it conjecture if it is with, no, an opinion or a conclusion formed on the basis of incomplete information? It's like I want to ask, what are the rules of your logic? Like, that is really what I want to ask. What are the rules of your logic? That is the question I want to ask. What are the rules of your logic? I want that. I want this. What are the rules of your logic? Because they sure as hell aren't the rules of my logic. And that's just, yeah, there is no, I don't even want to open that door. Pause. Do we want to open that door? I had a conversation with my dearest friend yesterday. She's writing a book. She doesn't know the genre. I said to her, is there a magic system? And she didn't understand what I meant, because she has spirituality. So we walked through the steps of what defines a magic system. This is amazing. Physics is magic, bottom line. And I explained to her that you have the law of physics, and then you have a magic system, which is a different law of physics. And you can have either our laws of physics with enhancements, now you've got a magic system, or you've got the laws of physics that are completely different from our laws of physics, and you have reinvented all of the laws of physics. And we assessed that she had formed an enhancement on the laws of physics. And logic is built on the laws of physics. You know, I'm in my brain, there's the philosophy. Or is the laws of physics based off of the logic? Which came first, the logic or the physics? I don't know. Which came first, the logic or the physics? I would say the physics is the consequence to logic. I would say logic birthed physics. For me, logic is what birthed physics. Logic became, and thus physics was. So, but there are some people who live by a completely different law of their own logic. They are independent. This might be the clause I've been looking for to get me out of anything I don't understand. I don't understand your logic. Oh, wait a minute. What are your laws of logic? That might be it. And I am of the opinion, like I live according to a rule, a very hardcore rule of if it does not comply to my laws of logic, then it is invalid. That's it. That is the core of me. If it is not in accordance to my laws of logic, then it is invalid. And that's it. That's it. That's it. I mean, technically, that's the law that we all live by. It's invalid if it's not according to the laws of my logic. But no one has put more time, effort, thought, structure into a logic law than I, period. Like, I've got, no, I've been through it. No. I am the god of all when it comes to logic, because yeah, I know the first logic. Everything is built on the first logic. And then, I know there's no, been through it so many times. Everyone is doing, well, not everyone, most everyone. Only logicians do logic consciously. Everyone else is doing it instinctively. And that's just it. That's really the difference. Very few people, only logicians do it consciously. But once you decide, I'm going to be a logician when I grow up, then it's a whole, all right, let's build the entire logical comprehension of life. And then you reverse engineer all of the logic. And here's the thing, is there is a core logic. This is what I could not live with. This is I lost the core logic of life when I was 4. And I couldn't function. I'm like, no, I can't have the core. And that's what set me off on the whole, what is the meaning of life? Because I lost the core logic. And it was horrible. It was so horrible. It was such a dark time. It was so horrible. They compromised love. Love is the first logic. It's extraordinary. And if you compromise that, the whole shindig falls apart. The whole goddamn thing falls apart. You need love. That has to be defined. Once you have love defined, then you're okay. But the damn assholes, the first thing they did was compromise my logical comprehension of love. And when they did that, the whole thing just fucked it up. Now, most people just take it as I don't know what they call it. It's just an accepted thing with most people. But when I was 4, they presented that argument that threw the whole thing out. So I'm looking at the statement that people's make, and I'm going, well, of course it's an invalid statement, but here's the thing. This statement is like the catalyst. It's not even a premise, because it becomes a premise when you use it in a logical proof. So it's like pre-proof. They make a statement and it does not get graduated to a premise. It's just a random statement. I don't want to use the word statement because statement does not feel logically correct. It's something else. It is a statement. It's a thing that is believed, because here's the thing, is they believe it. And when you make a statement, this is my problem with the word statement. Statement is too vague. Statement could mean anything. It's the kind of statement it is that I'm looking for, because they believe it without any logical anything. They believe without logic. What is that? I need a name for this. It's a belief without logic. There it is. It's without logic. It's an absence of logic. Now I'm getting somewhere. That's what it is. It's an absence of logic. See, illogic implies that you've used logic. That's it. This is what's bothering me. So this is a part of the brain that the human mind really struggles with. We think, oh, if this is absent, there must be a filler. No, there's no filler. It's just zero. It's just zero. So there's logic, and then there's, okay, I'm going to be illogic. No, it's zero. It's not that you've done logic and you've done it wrong. It's that you haven't even, there is no logic present. It is the absence of logic. It's like with fear. Love is here, and fear is something that just exists because love is absent. So fear is a consequence to love being absent. And fear is not something that gets plugged into to remove love. It's a consequence of love. Completely different calculation altogether. And there are people who are just, no, I'm not using logic and it's bad, thus it is an illogical fallacy. I just didn't use it at all. And there's no word for this. There is no word for this. An absence of logic. Now, how do I politely say to them, did you even use logic? Words don't matter. Did you even use logic before you decided this? Yes, it's decision without logic. There you go. I'm getting closer. Decision without logic. Because people decide things without even logically calculating it. They'll just randomly spout it off. And I'm like, did you use logic for that statement? And maybe I'll just ask people that. Have you decided this without logic? That's what I was witnessing yesterday. This person was making calculations, and I'm going, you're not even using logic. How can you make a calculation without logic? This is where I'm very different than most people. I'm saying this. This is where it's me because I'm a logician. And I understand the process of logical conclusion so intricately that I'm looking at people who do it all the time without logic, and I'm going, how is that even possible? How you baby? Where's your fuzzy? Come on, get. So I'm just coming, and it's like, so when a person talks, I see this whole, there's a logical code. They talk, and I see them putting in all this code, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it's just like, they have no. It's lawless. It's the land of lawless logic. There you go. But it's not logic because it's lawless. So it's a land that is lawless. That is what I'm looking at. I feel better. I have defined it. It's a lawless land where logic does not exist. I feel better. Because if somebody has the logic and they form the argument, I'm going, okay, all right, at least you've got logic there. No, there are people saying shit. And this is the other part. After they say the shit, they believe it. And it's like, okay, I have comprehension. That's good enough. You think that comprehension is good enough for your comprehension gap? Like, I don't understand those people. Now, here's the problem. People are people. They're different. Okay. People are people. There are some people who don't need logic. Okay. Okay. So I need to put up, this is what I'm looking for. I need to put up an if-then clause in my brain. This is what I'm looking for. The if-then clause in my brain that completely irons out that does not qualify to enter into my system, because my system is built off of logic. So I need the ultimate if-then clause that completely negates. I need a negation if-then clause. I need a negation. That is what I'm looking for. I need a negation if-then clause that I can just see. I love this. I love this. I know what this is. So we're going to talk about comprehension gap. Comprehension gap is the most amazing thing in the world. Comprehension gap is when there is a lack of understanding. Comprehension gap equals a lack of understanding due to missing logical information to connect A to B. That's a comprehension gap. So we are so averse to comprehension gaps. We are not okay. We are actually, if you have a comprehension gap, comprehension gaps, you are going to have leads to comprehension gap leads to misunderstanding, which leads to cognitive dissonance, which leads to mental illness. There you go. Comprehension gap. So if you find a comprehension gap, it's really, really important to plug it in. Now, if you don't plug it in, there's two ways you can plug it in. You either don't plug it in, you plug it in with mediocrity. Yeah, bottom line, you either plug it in, you don't plug it in. You plug it in with mediocrity, mediocre logic, or you plug it in with false logic. Logic kills. Or you plug it in with, well, with logic. Healthy. Cognitive dissonance. I wonder if logic is physics. 10 minutes later. I love the mind so much. If I had a stuffed creature of any kind, it would be a stuffed version of my brain where I'm just like, oh, it's my teddy bear. All right, there you go. Comprehension gap, misunderstanding, cognitive dissonance, mental illness. Don't plug it in cognitive dissonance if you plug it in with. All right, so if you use mediocre logic, false logic, or if you don't plug it in at all, you're going to end up with cognitive dissonance, which leads to mental illness. If you plug it in with logic, it's going to be healthy and you're fine. So when you have a comprehension gap, it's really important that you fill it in. Now, I don't have to tell you this. We're all doing it. The problem is we are doing it without any logical law at all, where we go, my opinion is good enough for education. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's what I'm looking at. It's my opinion is good enough for education. And I just need a minute. I've met these people. My opinion is good enough for education. And I want to be like, do you know what education is? Do you see, for me, and this is really different, and it's okay. I'm going, all right, so these are just the kinds of people there are. All right, those are the kinds of people they are. I am not those people. I'm not those people. So when there are people who are like, my opinion is good enough for education, I need a word for these flat earthists. I need to figure out what to call these people. So I can tell because my brain and I immediately go, what is that? What are they doing? I don't know. Do you think they have logic? I don't think so. What I said, I don't understand. My opinion is good enough for education, they say. And instead of looking it up, they just form an opinion without logic. And they make a decision without logic. Yeah, they make a decision. I don't understand. They make a decision without logic, research, knowledge, I don't understand, or education. Okay. I've seen these people so many times and it just baffles me. I just don't understand them. All right, so those are the people who make a decision without logic, research, knowledge, or education. I'm looking for the statement that I need to say to them and to myself so that we all live happily ever after. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm doing here. I'm looking for the logical statement that I need to say and they need to hear so that we all live happily ever after. That is what this is, by the way. We're going to do this. The goal is to find the if-then clause that I can tell myself and them so that we all live happily ever after. There, that's it. That's what I'm doing. That is the agenda. That is the agenda. There. The goal to find the if-then clause that I can tell myself and them so that we all live happily ever after. So they make a decision without logic, research, knowledge, or education. See, I want to ask, how is that working for you? That's what I want to ask. How is that working for you? I've had conversations with people like this. I remember this conversation because there's, and we're going to do this. There is the scientist and the educated. We're going to do something here. And the nutritionally educated. And then you see, and this is, it's false education. It's, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And then there's no education. And on this side, okay, so this is the world of a scientist. This is the world of a scientist. In the world of a scientist, there are no problems. We have no problems here. We have no problems. Did you, maybe this is the education that everyone is lacking. Did you know that a scientist really does not have very many problems? We don't, because we use math to problem solve them. We use mathematical projection so that we can avoid problems. We use problem prevention over here. So we have no problems. We have so little problems that we are living in a world of, let's expand physics. Let's split this atom. Let's analyze this data. ... just because I'm curious. That's it. That's it. That's it. We have no misunderstandings, really. Now, there are some scientists who do, because they do not have their science together in their psychology. But for the most part, we're good. This is my favorite thing about scientists. We are a team. I want to tell you about scientists. This is my favorite thing about us. Oh my God, you want to talk about a community. Wow. The moment you decide to be a scientist, you have joined a network. The network is, it is the let's work together to figure out the mysteries of the universe. And then let's share that data and celebrate the frontier together. Team. Yeah, that's our team. And it was and is the most amazing thing in the world. This is the life of a scientist. Now, I'm going to say again, there's going to be people who act like the children, and they are over in the land of no education. And this is really it. And I think this is my issue, is I've been a scientist living in the land of no man's land. There you go. This is no man's land. So here, oh, there's the logic. There's the logic. My brain just went, yes, that makes so much sense. I understand now. They live in no man's land. Okay, you live in no man's land. There you go. You live in no man's land. That's your problem. So, and I was talking to somebody about this, my dear friend, I love her to pieces. And we were analyzing this. And she's trying to figure out, and so there's the scientists. Now, scientists have education figured out. We've got it all figured out. We have it so figured out that we are figuring out new shit like quantum physics. And we know rule number one, quantum physics, we don't know a goddamn thing. And we all know this. We're all going, we have no fucking idea what this is. Let's examine it. Welcome to the world of science. We've got this shit figured out. There is order, there is epicness, and there's no hierarchy over here. And we are all just focused on, let's work together to figure out the mysteries of the universe, and then let's share that data and celebrate the frontier together, team. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's like the best thing in the world. We have everything figured out over here. And then there's no man's land. And in no man's land, well, this is it, really. The scientists have just closed the door on the world and said, okay. And why can't I leave them behind, guys? Why can't I leave them behind? I can't do Atlas Shrugged. That's why. Because I can shrug, but I can't walk away. I've never been able to walk away. I have never been able to walk away. It is like my crux. It is my weakness. I have 40 years of just me not being able to walk away from people. So I choose to live in no man's land, trying to teach people in the world of no education that there's a better way. And then those dip fucks tell me, oh, no, there is no better way. Do you know what the scientists are doing? Do you have any idea? That's right. They make a decision without logic, research, knowledge, or education here. So now I'm going, what if I were to lay the path so they can figure this out for themselves? I changed my social media feed a few months ago, about a year ago. I got so fucking sick and tired of all the garbage on social media. So I started to follow science instead. And you know what amazingly changed? This blew my mind. The more I changed my social media space, my feed went from, this is a catastrophe, this is a problem, this is falling apart, this is we've discovered a new particle. Look what we have found. Isn't this hilarious? Look what other discovery we had. And I had more discoveries popping up on my feed going, oh my God. Scientists are making progress. No man's land is not. And it's this vast question of, it's not even a question, it's the lack of awareness. Did you guys know there's a community out there called the science community where they've achieved what everybody in no man's land says is not possible? They've done it. They're doing it. They're not worried about politics. They're not thinking about the problems of the universe. What they are doing is they have solved their problems. They have a set law of social rules that they live by. And this is really it, is the social rules. The social rules of no man's land. And then you have the social rules of nature. She's in charge over here. And that's it, social rules of nature. So you have the social rules of man, or you have the social rules of nature. Those are your choices. Those are your choices. Man versus nature. That's really what you're up against. Man versus nature. So I'm sitting here with this massive, I remember in English class, learning about this, studying it, going, what does this mean? And I remember it's man versus himself, man versus God, which is nature, man versus man, and that's it. Nature, yourself, or man. Those are your three conflicts. That's all you got. And people are like, oh, you're fighting yourself. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not fighting yourself. You know why? Because scientists know that man is nature. You're not fighting yourself. You have nature inside of you, and you want to go to nature, and you're being pulled toward nature. No, what you're really fighting is man. You are actually fighting narcissist man. And there's a difference. There's another one here. You are fighting narcissist man. Fighting narcissist man versus nature man. Now, narcissist man is going to tell you you're fighting yourself. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not fighting yourself. You are fighting narcissist man. You are not fighting yourself. No, you are not. Because if you were fighting yourself, you don't even know who you are to fight yourself. You can't get to yourself because you're so busy trying to take care of narcissist man. When you find the catalyst, you know exactly where to knock all the dominoes over. And my work is just this massive reverse engineering back to the original problem. Reverse engineering a problem or a chain reaction. This is what I'm doing, is I'm reverse engineering a chain reaction. That is what I do in all of my work. I am reverse engineering a chain reaction. And when you reverse engineer your chain reaction, you get to the heart of the problem. And what I discovered was the heart of the problem was education, which is being run by narcissist man. And this is where it's a problem. Because narcissist man, ooh, this is going to be fun. Let's do this. I'm so excited. Oh, I've got it right here. Just so rules of man. All right, we're just going to do it this way. All right. I am writing the logical laws of a narcissist man. And man is generic for human being, and it's actually in reference to our entire society. But do not take responsibility for the self. Take the power without any responsibility. Don't let them know that you are responsible. Control without any responsibility. Make choices without even letting yourself know. Do not take responsibility for the self. Take the power without any responsibility. Don't let them know that you are responsible. Control without any responsibility. Not even controlling others. I need another word. Manipulate the chain reaction. Then absolve all evidence of said manipulation. So no one can hold you responsible. Make choices without even letting yourself know. Don't even speak in the first person. Always hold the upper hand. I think that's it. Do not take responsibility for the self. Take the power without any responsibility. It's power without responsibility. Power without responsibility. That's what this is. That's it. Thus, in conclusion, take away their power. I know how to do that. I know exactly how to do that. I know exactly how to do that. I know what this is. Oh, we are so arrogant. The narcissist is in a power struggle dynamic. Dude, no. With Mother Nature. Dude, you're going to lose. And every victim has made it about themselves because the victims of narcissists are narcissists. Victims of narcissists are narcissists. Narcissists attract narcissists. But they won't take responsibility. Yep, what are the laws of the, there it is. The victim of narcissists are narcissists. And there it is. The narcissist is in a power struggle dynamic with Mother Nature. The victims of narcissists are narcissists. The narcissists attract narcissists, and they won't take responsibility. Narcissism ends when you take responsibility. Bottom line. Bottom line, there is no other way. There is no other way. Do not take responsibility for the self, and these are the laws of the narcissist. The Narcissist Laws. Do not take responsibility of the self. Take the power without any responsibility. It's not about the power. It's about the responsibility. If you are fucking around with the power, you're a narcissist. And that this is it right here. If you are either looking to preserve equal footing or you're playing the narcissist game. When you start tampering with power that is not your own, if you are not taking your own power, wow, this is fascinating to me. Yeah, see, and that's the difference. Always hold the upper hand, or yeah, see, there's the logical fallacy. That's the logical fallacy right there. That's not true. Oh, yes, it is, Anna. That's right. I see it. You're a BDSM mistress. What are the laws? I know. I know. What are the laws? I know. I know. See, I'm a BDSM mistress. Oh, yeah. You can't fuck around with a BDSM mistress. We know. All right. I know exactly what's going on. I'm so excited about this. I'm excited. All right. So I'm going to say always hold the upper hand. And there's going to be victims going, I don't have the upper hand. I don't have the upper hand. See the first laws? See the first laws? Do not take responsibility for the self. Now, watch this. In BDSM, there is the invisible truth. Now, in BDSM, we know this. Well, no. Oh, yes. We're going to call this the BDSM clause. That's what we're going to call it, the BDSM clause. You can't bullshit a mistress. Nope. The power dynamic is our game. So I'm holding solid on that number 7. Always hold the upper hand. And there's going to be a whole lot of victims going, how can the victims of narcissists be narcissists if they don't always hold the upper hand? The BDSM clause. The BDSM clause. The invisible truth of BDSM. Yep. I'm debating on whether or not I want to talk about it here or start a new video. I think I'm going to start a new video. Yeah, I'm going to start a new video. But this is it. If you are choosing to fuck around with the power dynamic, no matter which side of the coin, it's the same coin. If you are fucking around with the power struggle dynamic, you've got a problem with narcissism. Don't take responsibility for the self. They take the power without any responsibility. Don't let them know that you are responsible. Number 2, always hold the upper hand, but don't let them know that you're responsible. How do you do that? The BDSM clause. Manipulate the chain reaction, then absolve all evidence of said manipulation so no one can hold you responsible. Make choices without even letting yourself know. Don't even speak in the first person point of view. And always hold the upper hand. The BDSM clause. Yep. All of the bullshit that is now. There it is. That clarifies it. All right. I'm going to do another video and we're going to talk about the BDSM clause to plug all of this in. All right. See you soon. No, I got to say it. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.